Hello everyone and welcome to QualityOldGames. Today we are having a stream of Europa Barbarorum Part 2, and it has been quite a while from the last time I played this mod. And actually it has been too long, so let's see if I remember how to play this. But at least it seems we have some rebels near Rome, and we most definitely want to take them out. Both are fortunately only levies, so I think we can take them on rather easily. And let's see if we can retrain, well, at least some of those units, and then we have another rebel army here. And I think we will wait for a while before moving this army to intercept them. Or because they are that far away. And then let's check, can we raise taxes somewhere? Here at the very least. And I think we are ready, even though it's a bit troubling that this large army is besieging our city. And we can hold on for only 3 turns. I think they will try to assault soon enough. So let's see what happens. Oh, and by the way, I installed and added that the game or mod could use 4 GB of RAM, so I think this should be more stable. At least it didn't crash on my test. And perhaps the rebels are not attacking at all. So basically it means that we need to move out against that army. And here I think if we leave those 2 units as a garrison here, well, it won't be nearly enough. Let's see how many other units are needed. I guess we can send that one. And perhaps this we can triary. And perhaps 1 unit of hastati. And perhaps a 2nd unit of hastati as well. I guess that's enough, and then I doubt we have enough to move against enemy city here. But let's move to engage this rebel army. So, hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Feel free to post comments, give advice, ask questions and so on. Okay, so apparently the enemy is taking a position on the hill there. So they do have some skirmishers. Let's see if we can drive them away with the cavalry. And apparently we have one cavalry unit that's not participating in the battle at the moment. So some other skirmishers, spearmen, and then I guess that's General's bodyguard. I think we should be able to beat that. Enemy general's bodyguard. And I don't think these guys should join the melee there. And the enemy general is fleeing. The levies here are breaking. And I think we should be able to break the rest of the enemy army rather soon. Okay, they are breaking. Okay. So these guys are fighting to death. Not something we want. And I don't actually know if the same thing applies this as the battles in the vanilla Rome Total War, that rebel armies get destroyed when they are defeated. But I guess if we finish this battle we will find out. Okay, so at least that army got wiped out. And I think we could bring some reinforcements from Capua to reinforce that army. Thanks for from the comment, NASA Bluebeam. Yeah, actually this is the first time I'm playing this mod, so if you have some good advice how to succeed in this, feel free to share those. Let's see if we could bring some additional troops there. And we could have some mercenaries. Perhaps instead of training new troops, I will hire some mercenaries so that we could actually win the battle there. And if we sally forth here, let's see. Okay, so no reinforcements there. So these do have missile attack, but okay, and some units are clearly skirmishers. They do have cavalry. Interesting. Well, let's see what happens when the selection is done that way. Okay, so the enemy has divided its forces into two, and it seems the AI will command this reinforcing army when it's entering the battlefield. And of course we want to concentrate our forces against the same section of enemies. So let's try to do precisely that. And at the same time we want to keep our own flank secure. Of course what we could do is to threaten the enemy's flank there. So perhaps we could draw some attention from them. Hello Anka, welcome to the stream. So there is quite a lot of heavy infantry And the Allied general is heading this way. And I guess some skirmish will soon take place. Well, at least the AI seems to be a bit confused about what to do. Okay, so now something is happening there. And the question is, how should we reinforce? Perhaps we will put these guys as the in a defensive line against these enemy units there. And let's use our skirmishers and the general to help out here. Thanks for the comment, Nasa Blue. I have to confess that I don't actually know what language you are speaking there. Is it Spanish or what? Could you say that or type that in English as well? And with some luck, we could actually take down the enemy general there. And these guys need to circle around this unit here. And it seems they need to face that enemy cavalry there. Okay, so Spanish. Thanks for the information. Do you live in Spain or, for example, in South America, somewhere there? Okay, that's broken. And let's hope we can break that unit rather soon. Okay, in Colombia. Okay, so they are broken, and it would be nice if the AI commanded its troops to attack. Okay, so perhaps we can encourage them to be a bit more aggressive. Seems the balance of power is starting to turn into our favor. Okay, so there was quite a large battle happening there. And let's try to make sure with the general that these guys continue their flight. Okay. And let's see if the enemy army will get destroyed. Okay, so that was wiped out. Excellent. But did we lose? Okay, we lost our general. And of course, Ariminum needs some extra defenses. Or garrison. Perhaps we could send some weakened units there. And then these units can reinforce, or rather, most of these units can reinforce the army in Bononia. So one more to Ariminum. And I think we are ready to take on the next rebel army there. And we have turn. Okay, I guess we are soon at least ready to move out. And I think so there. Perhaps we could bring some reinforcements from there as well, and from here perhaps one more unit. Then of course it would be nice to build something. So I guess the minas are Greek currency of the ancient times. Well, I guess troops it is then. Of course. Actually, I think I want to make this in Bononia, so that we can start to replenish or retrain units there. And we have a turn. The game almost got me scared that it's going to crash. Okay, so at least these are not rioting at the moment. Perhaps we will go with a shrine to Jupiter. And let's see about Ariminum. We could build this campus. Is that campus Munervum, Field of Martial Games? What about Aritium? We could make that shrine to Minerva. Perhaps Ariminum would be better, but it would be really nice to have some additional income from what we will build. And I think we are ready to begin a siege here. So there is wooden palisade. And we are in no hurry to take it down. Perhaps actually, instead of training that unit of hastati, we could have one unit of mercenaries. Or then not. So now we could have a unit of mercenaries here. I guess this is rather good unit since it's so expensive. Let's go with this unit. And okay, these are rebels, and there is, or are they Syracusan? I guess they are Syracusan. And then there is Carthage, and that's Carthaginian town as well. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm just wondering if I should concentrate my troops into one place. So there is small roads finished here. We could build a ludus. And that army is full. 3 more turns until we can take the settlement. And I guess we need to save a bit before we can get some buildings providing us more income. And we have a new general. I think he can go to take charge of Ariminum. And Tarentum should begin to do a bit better. And this will reduce happiness. There is quite a bit of unrest in the area. Perhaps the farms will help there. Even though I was planning on building, for example, the port here. Perhaps I should make a diplomat so that we could get some trade partners. So let's make one. Let's see how the diplomacy works in this mod. And these are taking casualties, which is good, because I think we will end up fighting against them eventually. Of course, it would be rather nice if the Syracusans would take a settlement from the Carthaginians. It would make things a bit easier for us. Thanks from the question, Red Star. Actually, this is my second playtime of this mod, so I haven't played this one since the last stream. So we could make a port here, but perhaps we will go with that river port. And there is some devastation, unrest, tax penalties. And then we should have the diplomat ready. Let's hope we can get some trade relations. And here perhaps... I'm not certain. Well, that at least will allow us to produce more troops, so let's go with that. And then I think we are going to have a battle at the end of this turn. Oh, and Tarentum is having some issues, so let's see if we can bring some or train some additional garrison there. I think we should be in rather decent position in this battle. As the enemies most likely will try to come out from there. So let's put our heavier infantry to the front. And the other infantry in line here. Or actually, I think... Well, at least at some point I think we need to improve the formation a bit. So I guess we have everyone moving, and let's hope they are moving in the right direction. Okay. Thanks for the heads up, Red Star. I agree that that's a thing to be careful with. By the way, is the AI usually aggressive in this mod? Do you know? Perhaps not cavalry charge against the spearmen there. Okay, so in battles, but not necessarily in the campaign. Is this a new thing, or has it always been so that the AI tends to be a bit passive in the campaign? Okay. And there is the enemy general. So we are inflicting quite a bit more damage than the enemies are inflicting at us, and there is quite a lot of skirmishers, so a flanking move with cavalry could be quite beneficial. Toxotai. I guess they are archers, since Hippotoxotai are horse archers in the at least in Barbarian Invasion. So, let's try to bring the battle to the enemy skirmishers. Okay. So, let's see how the AI turns out to be in this. Okay. At least the building seem to be quite expensive compared to the vanilla, leading to that slower build-up. And apparently those guys cannot flee. And those are fighting to death as well. That's actually interesting. Okay, I think we are starting to break the enemy rather well here. And we should have a victory rather soon. So those are fighting to death. And finally, those guys are starting to flee. So we can have some more troops to join the battle in our right flank. So those are 3 actually. Okay, interesting. And I'm not certain that's the best place for skirmishers to be fighting, but I guess that's where they are. And basically it seems it's pretty much the enemy general against our army. So mostly skirmishers, but I think some heavy infantry here would be quite beneficial. And it seems the city center actually makes it impossible to break a unit in this mod as well. Good to know. Hello, Tyksök, comma. Did my pronouncement go at all as it's supposed to be pronounced? Your name, that is. And welcome to the stream. Okay, and that's it. Nice. And not too much minas to be gained from looting there. So we need to do something with Tarentum, and I guess some new troops should be enough. Let's see if we can actually send some units for a peacekeeping operation. So, perhaps a port here. Let's at least try that out. That's rebel settlement there. Let's see if we can find some Greek factions on the other side of the sea. And here, I think we want to make this regional pacification as soon as we can afford that. And we have a turn. Okay, that army did move out somewhere. Perhaps we should be a bit worried about that. And here, let's pacify the region, or at least try to. So, okay, so these are kind of equivalent to the religion in medieval 2. And we have some rebels here. Is there some reason that they are spawning? Because there is no unrest here. Well, let's see if we can take them down. Perhaps we need to train some military units here. Ports are good. Okay, thanks. I think I will then increase the number ASAP. Okay, we are at war with them. And I guess it's once again a turn. Oh, and by the way, I think let's play it safe and save the game relatively often, in case it crashes. So we have River Port, that at least seems to be bringing some more income. What's my favorite Total War game? Thanks for the question. I think it's the original Rome 1 Total War. It's the first Total War I have ever played, and it's the Total War I fell in love with. So that clearly has a soft spot in my heart. I also like other historical Total Wars and Warhammer Total Wars and so on, but I think still Rome 1 has something that the other Total Wars don't have. At least in my perspective, or in my opinion. Let's try to auto-resolve this. Excellent. And about building some additional ports, I guess Ariminum will be the place then. And there seems to be a bit of famine, so perhaps some improved farms are in order as well. By the way, what's your favorite Total War? And of course, everyone can answer as well if you so wish. Are you more to the historical Total Wars or more to the, for example, Warhammer Total Wars? Okay, and we have the rebel army there again. And apparently we did have enough money to start building that port. And there are quite a few of rebel settlements. And it seems we are at war with almost everyone. Yeah, it really seems that the pace is a bit slower here in this mod than in the original Medieval 2 or Rome 1. Oh, okay. So, about playing that Rome 1, okay, thanks for the comment, Mark Anthony. Yeah, I think Rome 2 is somewhat controversial. Some people like it over the Rome 1 and some just can't stand it, so it somewhat divides the opinions. And about that Rome 1 not working, I think you will get it for free if you purchase the remastered version in Steam. So that way you could get the original one to work as well. Okay, and let's see if we can get some trade rights. And perhaps an alliance. Okay, you cannot have everything. And we have discovered wonder. And let's try to find other Greek factions as well. Since we are at war with the Carthage, I think we could try to make a landing there. Okay, Rome 1 as well for NASA Blue. And you're welcome, Tyksök, 112. I'm pretty certain that I'm pronouncing your nickname completely wrong. Unfortunately, NASA Blue, I cannot understand your comment. I don't speak Spanish, so... And by the way, do you like to play rather the vanilla versions of the game, or do you like to play modded version of the game, usually? And let's see how much troops we could take. And I think here we need to be somewhat hasty. Otherwise, enemy reinforcements will arrive and cause quite a bit difficulties for us. And of course the diplomat here. Polemarchos, perhaps trade alliance. Nice. Map information, perhaps we could have gotten some money. And some new wonders. And let's see about Macedon. And by the way, how much more is the port bringing revenue? Actually, trade revenue is quite high there. So the ports indeed are really useful. Perhaps we can raise taxes a bit. And is there still a famine here? It is. Interesting. Okay, thanks for the translation, NASA Blue. I appreciate it. I haven't actually played too many mods. I think some Lord of the Rings mods for Rome Total War Remastered, and Medieval 2 Total War, but not too much else. And of course now this Europa Barbarorum for this stream series. So let's see if we could take the settlement. And we can actually... There are elephants. And that's quite a big charge bonus there. But I think in night battle we should be rather strong here. Of course that's quite a decent general. Well, let's see what happens. So I think gaining a foothold in Sicily will be very good for our plans of conquering, for example, Syracuse. And there is quite a strong enemy garrison at the gates already. That's missile cavalry. I guess the elephants are somewhere else in the city square, it seems. And perhaps we could bring at least some of these troops to the front. Perhaps they are able to fire missiles at the enemy. So there is heavy infantry, spearmen, cavalry, I guess that's the general, some more spearmen and some skirmishers. Okay. I guess these walls are pretty much identical to that of the vanilla medieval tour, or do you mean the how the walls look in Rome Surrectum? So the gates are down. We could hit that enemy general, that would be nice. And perhaps these guys can hit the enemies rather nicely there from the holes in the wall. Or actually perhaps we want to save some javelins against the elephants. And it seems someone is shooting at that missile cavalry. Oh, cavalry overall. Are these towers actually firing? And it seems we have the first enemy coming out. And I think we should be able to get a nice round there. Okay, and actually that unit is not even fully out there. And okay, that's the... I guess they have two generals there then. So of course the question is, perhaps we should actually try to push through here as well. Okay, that was rather quick. Okay, so it seems our Principes have pushed this far already. Let's see if we could engage those skirmishers. Okay, thanks Mako, and welcome to the stream. And I guess these guys are ready to go in there. And let's try to keep at least one of these units so that we could actually command them. And make it 2, if at all possible. And at least those skirmishers are starting to take casualties. And the main enemy force has moved to block the gates, it seems. Of course, that leaves their flanks vulnerable here. Okay. So you are in veteran in version 1 of this mod. I don't think I have played Europa Barbarorum 1 at all, so this series is completely new to me. And I think these guys should start breaking rather soon. I think we can afford to watch the battle for a while from a bit closer perspective. Yeah. I think the Rome 1 engine is struggling in bigger 1 versus 1 battles. If both sides have full armies, there is some lag, at least for me. And well, it would be great if there were some mod that could boost the engine there a bit. Okay, and now it seems practically the whole enemy army is starting to break. Okay. So let's bring in our skirmishers that still have some ammunition left. And I think we can form a line here. Because these troops really could use some rest. Let's see if we could provoke the elephants charging us. And perhaps there. Okay, and they are routing as well. Okay. So Medieval 2 is your favorite. Despite all the difficulties with the engine, I think Rome 1 is still the best Total War for me. Nasablu, do you mean you have never played Medieval 1 or Medieval 2 Total War? I have sometime tried Medieval 1, but well, I think it hasn't aged that well compared to these newer Total Wars. For example, Rome 1 or Medieval 2. It's clearly old, the Medieval 1 Total War that is. By the way, Marco, do you like Medieval 2 with mods or unmodded, or do you like the Kingdoms expansion, or what's your kind of favorite there? Okay, with stainless steel. I think I have heard so much about that mod that I need to try that out sometimes. So what's in your opinion are the main improvements that mod gives to the game? Agreed on that. We should have our flanking force ready here. Okay, thanks for the clarification, Asablu. I guess we can try to flank the elephants, that unit, and then these guys can hit the back of enemy infantry. Okay, they're running amok. And it seems we are gaining control of the city. Okay. Sounds very good about that stainless steel mod. Yeah, Rome 1 is a classic, at least in my opinion. So these guys are trying to sting that one guy to death. Okay, and we have a victory. Nice. Yeah. Actually, one thing I like about Vanilla Rome 1 and Vanilla Medieval 2 very much is that they are rather fast-paced games. So the waiting time between turns, I think, is really small compared to the, at least the newer Total Wars. Okay, what does that day mod do to the Rome 2? So if we have found Macedon, and once again I think I should have asked for a bit more. Small marketplace. Let's build that. Okay. Does it improve the AI or rather do the similar things that the stainless steel does for Medieval 2? So apparently the Senate here is declaring wars on their whims. I think that could be improved there. And let's finally retrain that unit. And I think we have a turn rather soon. So we are at war with these guys. Let's see if we can have a peace. By the way, about those long waiting times, at least in Rome 1 there are sometimes bugs in the battle that causes that you can win if you have enough patience to wait the battle timer to run out. Actually, in Medieval 2 there are similar kind of bugs. So usually when I'm playing the vanilla versions, I do have some interesting book nearby, so I can read it while waiting for the battle to run out or something like that. So perhaps that's a good way to prepare for that stainless steel as well. Okay. So apparently you prefer playing mostly the mods, or you are really well versed in Total War games, rather those historical Total Wars. I guess we need to start making some troops here rather soon. Let's build that port first. So here, well, actually the port didn't increase the trade that much, but perhaps at some point when we capture the provinces on the other side of the sea there. Okay. So actually this mod crashed for me in the first playthrough, but I installed the mod or something like that that can so that the game uses double the amount of RAM memory than it originally did. So that has stabilized this mod for me at least. Oh, we have a family member here that's not actually doing anything useful. I think he can take charge of Tarentum. And I think we have a turn. Yeah, that's 4 gigabytes patch. Actually, I don't know or remember the name. It was actually quite long, but it can be applied to, I guess, any exe files. So it could be applied to other games as well. And now perhaps, okay, 10,000. Stations and garrisons, forum, mines. That's actually quite a small amount of money. Small scale industry. Oh, and let's see about the diplomat. So, perhaps they could give us something. Okay, nice. So it seems the enemy factions are rather small, at least at this point. That could work to our advantage if we move decisively enough. That's precisely what I'm not doing at the moment. So perhaps I should start training more units and at least liberate Sicily for us, or take it. Yeah, actually I also play Rome 1 mostly without any mods. But I think it's nice to try out something new from time to time, so I might be changing that. I will try some mods there, most likely. Okay, so the economy is growing rather slowly. So we could make a Roman army of Principes and Triaria and Hastati here. So we are making something like 6,000 at the moment per turn. I think we can afford to have another army. And of course we need to have a decent enough general to command it. I guess it will be this guy here. Let's build the port, or rather let's not build it. Perhaps I should send at least some point some of those troops to be retrained. Okay, thanks from the comment, Agrippa, and welcome to the stream. And it seems finally we are starting to get the public order here on a decent level. And let's actually... Oh! We have some elephants. So let's actually start sending some of these troops out already. when I played Medieval 1, I didn't bother to fight the battles. It was... the graphics were too bad for my tastes. So what I did was to auto-resolve practically all of the battles there. Okay. So, expanded cultures. Sounds interesting. Is it for the original Rome 1 or is it for the remastered? And let's see about that. Okay. Okay, for the original. By the way, regarding the historical Vispanius Agrippa, was his first name Marcus? Do I remember correctly? Okay, RIP, faction leader, it seems. And in Capua, small Latin colony. And I think roads here will be beneficial. And let's take the troops we clearly can. And lower the taxes here a bit. So a couple of more units and we are good to go. Yeah, was he actually part of the rather the second triumvirate? So, did he have at some point falling out with Augustus? Or rather, perhaps he was Octavian at the time. And then the diplomat who can actually do some scouting for us. What's the best target to hit with that new army? Or rather, relatively new army. Okay, it seems we have a new year. And I guess Patava will make a fine target for that army. And then let's bring in some reserves there. And let's actually hope that we are not running out of money. So did that improved farms? So I guess famine is related to city size. Yeah, and let's finish the turn. Okay. Yeah, I confused that with Livius. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the information, Agrippa. I guess that's kind of a person that's quite rare near positions of power. And I guess that kind of friends are kind of golden for the ruler, because most of the time, at least based on history books, the rulers have been rather on their toes around their friends or so-called friends that might have ended up trying to undermine them. Ah, yeah. I guess one of the most well-known Stoics is Marcus Aurelius. And I'm not sure how historically accurate the Gladiator movie was, but perhaps he was murdered by his son. Oh. So, apparently one of my armies just rebelled. And apparently we cannot bribe him. So, that's actually a rather bad situation. So, let's train some new troops. Can we actually retrain something here? Apparently not. Well, that guy turning a rebel was a blow. Yeah. It's kind of tragic with the Marcus Aurelius, as he was a philosopher in his heart, but he ended up spending most of his life fighting battles in Germania. I guess his loyalty is not high enough. About this mod having those faces, to be honest, I don't know. This is my first time I'm playing this, or rather this series. So this is my second time actually playing this mod, so I'm really not that familiar with that. But perhaps someone else can answer that question. So that's actually rather small army. And can we... So we cannot move to that zone of control apparently. Okay. Except in that way. And now we should have command of those reinforcements as well. Okay. So you seem to be well versed in at least Roman history. Are you interested in history overall, or is it just specifically Roman history, or what's the case? Apparently the enemy is abandoning their siege equipment, so we can move out. And are the rebels actually withdrawing? Apparently not. So we can bring in this army. And what are you guys doing there now? I guess with skirmish mode, those guys should do rather well. And do we want to take any additional troops here? Perhaps not. Let's leave those as a garrison. Yeah, actually I didn't look. The custom in the custom battle, the units. Perhaps I'm a bit too hasty to start the campaign. Okay. So is it a hobby for you, or are you doing some kind of research on that, or is it a profession? Welcome, I guess, Baggeles Aikaterines. I guess the answer to your question is depends on what you define as late. So the stream is still going. I think about maybe 1 hour still, but it started 1.5 hours ago. But we are having really good historical discussions here, so welcome to join. And Happy New Year. Okay, perhaps these guys should be a bit move a bit faster too, and these guys should pull back. I guess these Roman equites are riding ponies compared to this general's bodyguard. And perhaps we want to keep at least some of the units out of the battle. Okay. Well, I guess one picture tells you more than 1000 words. I guess that's a saying. At least it's a saying in Finnish. I don't know about if it's also some kind of maxim in English. Okay, let's try to break that unit rather fast. I guess that heavy infantry unit is taking quite a beating from those javelins. Yeah, country of several. I agree, the soundtrack of this mod seems rather nice. At least for me, the instruments sound that they could originate from the Roman era. I don't know about those Rorari, except that you can find them from the vanilla Rome 2 Total War. Okay, so those guys are fighting to death already. And it seems those guys are not just some basic skirmishers. Okay, finally those guys are broken. Let's see if we could actually break these units here. And let's make sure that those guys are not coming back. It seems throwing javelins before charging is quite common for the units in this mod. Yeah, pretty much accurate about that 3/3 of, or rather 3/4 of Roman soldiers being just as you described. And we still have one spearman unit causing troubles here. And these guys have rallied as well, it seems. Or they're not. Okay. And that's it. And now, of course, our problem is that we cannot retrain these fresh troops here. So we need to send them to Rome to be retrained. And I guess we have a turn. No, not a lumberjack. At the moment I'm doing my PhD at the university. And I'm somewhat over 30 years old. Kind of from the era when Rome 1 and Medieval 2 were released. Actually, I think we want to make, for example, a port somewhere. Or rather than the roads. And by the way, the diplomat should be somewhere here. Perhaps Massilia is a faction and we could get a treaty with them. So this is the colony here. Okay. Yeah, agreed about that retraining. I think that's an issue in, at least in original Rome 1 as well, especially if you are fighting against barbarians. If you have legionary cohorts, you cannot retrain them in most of the settlements, and that's why I usually like rather to have those early legionary cohorts. I think they are quite a bit easier to retrain. I guess we could upgrade Rome next turn. And about the diplomat. Okay, so they are rebels. Perhaps we could find some barbarian faction somewhere there. And now we have... I don't really like... So he's actually very loyal. I don't understand how we lost him. But that's life. And then next turn, let's upgrade Rome. By the way... Okay, so that's for unit training. Yeah, agreed on spamming those low quality units. Might be wise sometimes. Yeah, I think the early legionary cohorts are surprisingly good in the Rome 1. So let's see what this brings us. Okay, quite a bit of income it seems. Yeah, actually that's a bit surprising. I didn't know about that mechanic there at all. And perhaps we could take some troops from here. To the army, or at least to garrison Bononia. And let's try taking that city next, unless of course we can provoke that army there attacking us. Yeah, actually, in my first playthrough of Rome 1, Hastati clearly was my favorite unit. Up until enemy bull warriors just beat them every time. So after that I needed to consider some new troops, but until that they were quite nice. And especially the Triarii of Rome 1 are absolutely horrible, considering they are so high tier troops. Decent enough against cavalry, but not really good against anything else. Let's see. Perhaps Bononia could use some additional troops there. And this general should be put to work. Okay, so these are not really good units, except these actually are. And at least... okay. I thought that since there are some buildings here, there is commerce moving on, that town would be controlled by a faction, but it's controlled by rebels. Yeah, they were an ambush. Yeah, I think in Rome 1 the spear versus sword mechanic is a bit too harsh on spears. Yeah. Yeah, it's especially ironic since the Triarii were supposed to be the elite of the Roman infantry before Marian reforms. Or rather, before the elite of Roman army. And let's continue onwards. So they are garrisoning army and 2 additional armies. That might make things a bit difficult for us there. So that charge bonus is magnificent. I think we are going to go with that. And I guess next turn we are hiring some mercenaries and we'll move against Syracusae. Except there are, yeah, stone walls, so I guess we are trying to starve the city out. Okay. So you mean in this mod they have those nice units? Oh, and it seems there's some new armies that got spawned here. Of course, if we beat these, we will win, or rather capture the city. But winning this battle might not be that easy. So let's try to take on the initial army first and then turn to face the reinforcements. I guess those same units were added in Rome 2 as well, as some kind of auxilia units. Okay. So I guess our cavalry will try to take down the enemy skirmishers. And that enemy army has already entered the field, so we really need to move fast. Let's see if we could break the enemy skirmishers pretty much right away. And it seems these guys are actually quite sturdy. I'm a bit afraid that our cavalry is not enough to take them down. Then again, we should get reinforcements here rather quickly. Actually, I think a charge from the general could actually break these guys there. Good. And then we can use all of our cavalry together to break the rest of the enemies there. And at the same time, some of the army can already begin to reposition itself to face the second enemy army. So, have we dealt with the initial army? Not quite, but almost. So I think it's time to begin to form up against the second enemy army. And perhaps that's it. Because I really don't want that enemy army to attack our back while we fight against the second enemy army. And is still someone not running. Well, let's kindly escort those guys out from the battle. I guess those are not joining the fray anymore. And what about these guys? I'm a bit afraid that our troops are a bit too tired from that first skirmish, or rather first part of the battle. But let's see. So there is quite a lot of heavy infantry, some skirmishers, some more skirmishers, quite a bit skirmishers and some spears as well. And it seems the general is a spear infantry unit. Yeah, indeed. And the back exit was found. At least we will be fighting this battle downhill. But I'm still wondering if it's enough. So these guys do look like rather light skirmishers. Perhaps cavalry could deal with them rather well. No, actually guard mode is not on. Should it be? Okay. So let's turn it on then. And I guess some of our cavalry got beaten. I guess this is going to be a defeat. Since at least our cavalry is unable to rout enemy skirmishers, does not bode well for the battle. Let's see, he's rather alone there, so let's give it a try. Okay, they're actually running to somewhere. Okay, thanks for the advice. And apparently I have one unit doing absolutely nothing there. And they are routing, or rather the enemy general is routing. Perhaps we can give these guys a merit chase there. And that's it for the general. That was a good heads up about hitting them, or him. Okay, I guess we are not hitting those units there. Perhaps that could make a better target. Okay, so they are breaking. Actually, it seems the battle might turn for us. Oh. Yeah. All those are spearmen. So the enemy still has some spearmen, some skirmishers. And that might actually be it. Perhaps I could send this unit to fight those. And let's try to rout all of them. Okay, nice. And since I'm not completely certain that the barbarian army will be wiped out, I think I will try to inflict as many casualties here as I can. So, thanks for the good advice. I think without those I would have lost the battle here. Yeah, I agree that 85% versus factions, but I think at least in vanilla Roman medieval, the rebel armies will be wiped out completely if there is only, for example, minor victory. I guess we got more than 90% here. Let's hope that's enough. Well, I guess that's not... Okay, so it works here as well. Nice. I don't think that's a distraction. I think it's part of a stream. And of course now the question is, how can we keep this settlement here? So 55% still. So perhaps I should have put the place to torch. Pretty much. Well, let's hope we can keep it. And let's check the diplomats here. So some new trade partner. And perhaps an ally as well. Well, almost. Okay. So, I think that kind of a victory is a good place to finish the gameplay for now. Thank you for everyone for watching this and giving advice and participating to the discussion. I think the next stream will be quite a bit shorter than was the difference between the last and this one, so I hope latest next Wednesday at the same time. Have a great rest of the day. QualityOldGames out.